Builder Hall 4, time to learn from your opponent's mistakes and maybe some of mine. Welcome, fellow Clashers. Yes, it's another episode of the free-to-play account. This one not really using any gems other than the free gems that I'm getting from clearing structures and achievements. And right here, we're just going to go straight into it. Builder Hall 4. First things first, get that 4th army camp, get the new defenses, the archer tower, and great value, the spring traps and the mines. Definitely want to get those as early as possible. The additional walls, of course, and then baby dragons. Let me tell you, baby dragons super strong, especially if you go up against opponents who have not yet built their air bombs. That is the most powerful anti-dragon defense, and you can see I can't quite afford it yet either, but I have noticed that the balancing seems to be really good. I'm not being faced with opponents who have built it, and I'm not being destroyed by baby dragons yet either. But then again, this is a pretty new Builder Hall 4 account. I've only had a day or so here. I've gotten the 4th army camp, and right now I'm trying to decide between upping the builder barracks and unlocking baby dragons and upgrading the star laboratory so that I can upgrade troops further. And I'll tell you right here, for 150k, the correct move, definitely upgrading the builder barracks, unlocking the baby dragons. For only 150k at this point, you are just going to see more benefits than upgrading the star lab. So what do? I upgrade the star lab. Right, so, hey, like I say, do as I say, not as I do. Unlock those baby dragons. I just figured I would test a theory out, and that is that maybe I won't face baby dragons for a while if I don't have them. Okay, so we're testing that on my account. For you guys, I probably would advise you to go ahead and grab the baby dragons. Now, I'm finally going to send some of these walls to level 2 just to help this defense right here. Now, a couple of things, a couple of mistakes you're going to see here. First things first, be very careful as you upgrade a wall that you don't accidentally upgrade a wall twice and then cost yourself 100,000 gold. So there went 100k for that one section of wall. Not happy about that. Okay, next mistake, don't upgrade your outer walls first. You want to upgrade the inner walls. If you've got 2 layers of walls, think about this. It's much more likely that the bombers are going to survive through that only the first wave of attacks, meaning they're going to get down your outer layer. But just like back at home, it's less likely, I'm thinking, that you will see bombers hitting the core of your base because maybe your defenses have had a chance to take them down. So I would always, based upon home village learning, upgrade from the inside out. That's why I've moved all of my level 2 walls to protect the core, and then the level 1 walls on the very outside. I've got my new archer tower up to level 2. That was pretty cheap. And so this is my base. Now, I will admit to you guys, I'm looking for good Builder Hall 4 bases. This one I built from scratch. I didn't look at anybody else's base. I just figured I would give this a try, and that is exactly what we're going to do right here. So far, we're looking at pretty good balancing in that we're seeing opponents that are about the same. You see, this guy has 2 archer towers. He does have the guard post, but he doesn't have air bombs, and he won't be attacking me with baby dragons. So, although, you know, Supercell has said that it's based upon trophies and balancing as far as strength of structures and defenses, I feel like there's a huge amount of this algorithm that matches you to other players that's relying upon the strength of your troops, your defenses, and which buildings you have and have not unlocked. So generally, when I'm attacking with this strategy right here, I'm bringing the bombers just to break down one set of walls. Here, maybe wasn't the best idea to bring those bombers, but they are lasting quite a while. I'm also attacking on the far side of the crusher, and ideally, if the crusher and that double cannon are in different sections of the village, I'm going to go after the double cannon first, as it is by far the highest DPS structure out there next to the crusher. Here we grab a 67% 2-star. Pretty happy with this right here, and it turns out it's good enough. The opponent goes mass archers and grabs a 1-star 50%, and we're going to go take a look real quick Pretty much as you would imagine, it's going to be kind of a spam archer style, just sprinkling them around the outside, going for percentage with my Builder's Hall right in the core like that. It's not likely that any attack like this is ever going to get the Builder's Hall down, and that's going to hold him to 1 star, even if he does get the percentage. So that worked out pretty well. On to the next battle, waiting for the time to count down through the magic of television. There we go. So we're off to the next battle. Alright, so this base right here, I have to tell you, kind of got me. Okay, I really like this style in that it's got 4 different openings. So you're completely guessing as to where the Tesla is, where the spring traps and the push traps are. So I decided to go in against the double cannon, away from the crusher, but only 2 giants. And this was a big mistake. Why bring bombers to a raid like this? Yes, they supply some damage to the outside, but I really did not need them, obviously, so I wasn't thinking right here. So again, learning from Galadon's mistakes, maybe a lot more giants would have worked out. I could have even brought 3 camps of giants. Look at all of the defenses firing on those giants right there, and I don't even get a single star, 41% and no stars. So that one didn't work out so well. We go back and check out the defense, and indeed we are going to lose this one as the opponent just barely grabs the 2nd star and 50% with 4 giants and then the rest archers. All right. So we take a look and see how my opponent approached my base, and as we do, we can see that he's coming in from the bottom left, right there with the giants. So I've noticed this as a trend, and this is what we're going to use to help alter our defense and make us stronger, make us hold off those opponents a little bit better. We realize that's probably the common spot, like I attack on the far side of the crusher. So we're going to move my spring traps over here. That little opening on the top right of my base, it's too obvious. It obviously is where I'm going to put my spring traps, push traps, Tesla. So let's move them away and do a little bit of reverse psychology on our opponents, focusing everything, bombs, push traps, spring traps, down here in the bottom left of the base, where we most likely think players are going to come in, especially with giants. Try to get right in that middle enclosure and go after my Builder's Hall. We've got the guard post in there, which is also going to draw troops in. You have to remember, it works just like a clan castle back at home, in that it is going to be a magnet. It's going to draw troops in because they're going to try to take out those guard post troops. Even though there's not a lot of them right there, it still is going to draw troops in. Even if it's giants, barbarians, or bombers, they're all going to head in there. So again, we've got the archer towers level 2 and level 3. We're going to go ahead and set this one to the shorter distance and faster firing, simply because I feel like there's enough coverage throughout the rest of the base. We're going to fast forward on to the next army. There it is. We're ready, and we're going to go out and find another victim. So here we go. And yes, this is a nice one. Always a pleasant surprise to see a major defense being constructed. So somebody upgrading their double cannon. And because of the way the loot system works currently in the Builder's Village, you guys need to remember, there's almost never a need to attack or to face another player while you've got a defense upgrading. Ideally, you're going to use those attacks for loot and then set that defense to upgrade, set that building to upgrade, and then take a break, so that you're not at a huge disadvantage like this by having a major structure upgrading. Obviously, other things upgrading like mines and storages and things like that, not as critical, but a double cannon or a crusher, or even the air bombs, once you've got those would be structures that I would wait, not do any versus battles while those are upgrading. It just gives your opponent too much of an advantage. Right here you can see the bombers and the archers taking out the crusher, and no giants left, but also no defenses left. And this one's going to go down with tons of leftover units. Easily picking up the 3-star against my opponent, picking up some loot, and again, going to use that loot to upgrade a defense between the loot attacks. So right there, my 3-win bonus, 85k and 85k. And if I'm going to use that gold to upgrade an archer tower or a double cannon or even a regular cannon, you can see that I've got 9 hours and 7 minutes before I can attack for more loot. An ideal time to upgrade a defense right now, and then maybe if I've got a little more time before the loot resets, I can do a couple more versus battles just to try to push trophies up to the next reward tier. So one more time, we're going to look at my defense, and oops, okay, so I have no idea how that got out there. Okay, that was not intentional. An elixir storage out in the middle of nowhere, but my opponent fails, and he did go right down the middle like we expected. So one more tip here for myself, and that is, it would make sense to put higher hit point structures in place of the barracks and the camp. So the elixir storage and the gold storage are going to be ideal to go in these two spots, and that's going to help slow the units down that are attacking. So here we go, elixir storage and gold storage, put the army camp over here, and now I'm feeling like this base is starting to come together and is ready to defend. So let me know if you guys try out this base design, or better yet, if you got a much better base design, send it to me on Twitter at Galadon Gaming. Check me out live streaming on Beam, now called Mixer. If I use your base design in a future episode, I will give you a big old shout out. Thank you guys again for being a member of the Gala fam. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and of course, come back again tomorrow for more fun attacks.
Galadon, something wrong with your voice?